Leagues and other events canceled this week due to those quality concerns, but other popular outdoor activities still going on today with caution. Emily Byer joins us now live from the farmers market in downtown Green Bay with more on that. Emily.
Yeah, Bill, organizers with the farmers market on Broadway tell me this is something they haven't had to navigate before. Of course, they've seen extreme heat and rain, but they haven't had to deal with these air quality issues like this. They're encouraging those attending the market to be sure to listen to your body, take breaks if you need it. According to the Wisconsin DNR, during a fluid situation like this, that's what you need to do because it could change from hour to hour. The Wisconsin DNR issuing a multi-day advisory due to wildfires continuing to burn in Canada, breaking a record for annual wildfire smoke emissions, creating poor and unhealthy air quality in our area.
Ranging from the unhealthy for sensitive groups level all the way up to the very unhealthy level.
Currently, the DNR says the most unhealthy areas are along the Lake Michigan shoreline down to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee is currently experiencing some of the highest levels of air pollution, not just in the U.S., but across the globe.
With the majority of our state experiencing unhealthy air quality, the Wisconsin Department of Health Services encourages you to keep outdoor activity light and short.
If you do have a respiratory or cardiovascular health condition that puts you at greater risk and need to spend time outside, a well-fitting N95 mask may be helpful, but generally we recommend that for the duration of this air quality event, staying indoors is probably the best thing to do.
The advisory currently goes until noon on Thursday, but that could change based on weather patterns. And now, of course, we're going to continue to monitor these conditions, but just to show the impact, NPR now reporting that these hazy skies can be seen across the pond, now seeing them in Portugal. Cami.
Thanks, Emily. Even with this prolonged event, many of us wondering how much